Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Desiree.
Hi. Just making sure my sound worked before we started. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. As always, it's 4:01. Let's see how many people come in the next few minutes, and then we'll designate a start time.
Hello, Paula.
Hi, Therese, we can hear you. I think Paula's on mute right now, but I can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to just make sure. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, definitely. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
We'll be starting in a couple of minutes.
I'm not sure if I was just muted, but in case I was, I said that we would start in 1 minute at 4:05. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here at the October 2022 CAG meeting. I hope everyone's doing all right. As always, we'll start with a presentation from the city, and then we will have a CAG only portion of the meeting. We've allocated until 6 p.m. We'll see if we use up our full 2 hours. But I'm going to turn it over to Desiree.
Okay, great. Thank you, Paula. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Good. I know in the past I have forgotten to share it, so it's good. Good evening, everyone. As Paula said, welcome to our 26th Community Advisory Group meeting. My name is Desiree Gazzo. I am here on behalf of the PMCM team, Program Management Construction Management team for the Eastside Coastal Resiliency Project, which is a DDC project. So I'm joined here tonight by colleagues from both the PMCM team and DDC as well. So we will get started. As you know, this is the project area overview. The focus area topics that we will discuss tonight are construction, environment, access, hiring compliance, and then any questions. So for Work With Us events, there have been quite a few this month. On October 4th, we attended the Henry Street Settlement Job Plus in-person job fair. On the 19th, we had the ESCR first quarterly in-person career pathways event. And we had also attended, I guess that was the end of September, the ESCR DDC forum for which covered the resiliency projects. So I don't believe the slides for that. We just received the slides for that, so I'll make sure that they're up on the website tomorrow. And then the last kind of hiring event or MWBE event is this one, the Competitive Edge Conference is October 31st, so that's on Monday, and DDC representatives will be there as well. The Henry Street Settlement event, good news was IPC representatives were there and they were able to fill the open administrative position with a local candidate from the job fair. So that was a really great plus for the project. As you all know, we have been coordinating with Henry Street Settlement on many of our quarterly events. So it was, really great that they invited us to this in-person job fair. So that was fantastic. The quarterly information session that we had last week, that was on career pathways. We did receive a couple of resumes at that event, and we will have the materials that we prepared for that event up on the Work With Us page. And, Paula and Tara will send you a link to that material when it's up, and then you could share that with the CAD. This month we were going to have a hiring compliance update as we do quarterly. We will need to push that until next month. So next month we should have an update on Project Area 2 and Project Area 1. But this month we do have some construction. We're giving like a full update on construction activities for the end of this year, heading into the new year, and then of course the environmental update as well. So a quick project area overview. Much of this, hasn't changed from the last time we presented on Project Area 1, Project Area 2, and PC. For Project Area 2, to date, we have over 1,200 feet of flood wall installed. So that number did go up since one of the last times that we presented, it was over 1,000. It has been confirmed that it's over 1,200 now. So again, the contractor there is progressing with the flood wall, and then the work started in Murphy Brothers at the end of last month. We did provide an update at the last CB3 meeting, and I do apologize. I feel like I'm losing my voice, so you'll hear me kind of go in and out. At the parallel conveyance, we did present to CB3 a quick update and some resources on parallel conveyance. And again, as mentioned there, as soon as we get more information on the specifics of that project, we will incorporate that into the CAG meeting, as well as provide an update at CB3 and CB6. For parallel conveyance, we would like to introduce to you, for those who were not on the CB3 meeting, the community construction liaison for parallel conveyance. And Tanya, are you on? I didn't check the.
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So Tanya, if you just want to introduce yourself to the group. It looks like we have quite a few people on tonight, so if you want to just give a quick introduction, that would be great.
Sure. Good day to everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Tanya Wokun. Just a little bit about myself. My experience in construction began 7 years ago, where I worked for New York State DOT in the rehabilitation of the Major Deegan Expressway Bridge across the Yankee Stadium. I work over there as an assistant office engineer and a CCL. Recently, I completed a 3-year water main installation and gas line installation in Manhattan also. Looking forward to work and meeting you. And that's all. Oh, I would like to wish everybody a pura vida. It's a Costa Rican saying for healthy and pure life. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Thank you, Tanya. So Tanya will be the community construction liaison for parallel conveyance. And we have our we have our CCLs for project area 1 and project area 2 as well. So we will all be working together on community engagement, on signage, on updates, on the bulletins, on the advisories. Again, though it is 3 separate projects, we are one team when it comes to the community engagement and outreach. So any parallel conveyance questions should still come through, the inquiry tool, and again, or through Tanya directly. However, there are more eyes on the inquiry tool. So again, any questions can come through there, and then Tanya will respond and reach out. And then she'll also be on site and on the meetings as well, just like Joyce and Nadine and Sonia for project area 1 and project area 2. So thanks so much, Tanya, and welcome to the project. The slides from the CB3 Parks Committee meeting on parallel conveyance, I put the link here. So again, once that's up on the website, you can either go straight to the CB3 presentation, or you could go by this link here. And that was also a recorded, CB3 records all their meetings, so you could find the recording on the CB3 website as well. So for PA2, go to PA2 now. For PA2 construction progress, we are moving right along. The Astor Levy Playground, as you know, is open. Flood wall and floodgate number 18 is installed on the West Service Road. Much of that flood wall construction is completed or near completion. And the floodgate number 17 work is in progress. The West Service Road work is the anticipated completion for that work is spring of 2023. So that is, really great news for that intersection up there, or for that area up there. And then the 23rd Street intersection, the full intersection there, the utility work and flood wall construction is ongoing. We have 2 gates at that intersection, 15 and 16. So that work is upcoming in the new year. And then down to Stuyvesant Cove Park, the seat wall construction, grading, and Finished pavement is well underway with the planting starting the week of October 31st. So that's very exciting. The Greenway construction is just finishing up, and then that northern part of the Greenway is going to open here next week. It's scheduled to open, and we have slides on that coming up. So again, before the end of the year, the northern part of Sty Cove Park is scheduled for reopening. Stuyvesant Cove Park, south of East 20th Street, is the ongoing flood wall construction. Again, ferry access will remain open. Starting next week, the Greenway changes will occur, which we'll go into in the upcoming slides. Murphy Brothers Playground is under construction, and then the bus stop and city bike there are scheduled for relocation. And again, once we have more information on the relocation of those, we will provide that information to you. So right now, again, we've shown these slides before. We have an update on the next slide, but this is the current Greenway access, which everyone is very familiar with. Starting next week, and the advisory went out 2 weeks ago. The Greenway access will change. The Greenway north of 20th Street will open, so that's over here, north of 20th Street, and then the Greenway south of 20th Street, so from East 20th Street to the East 18th Street Avenue C loop, that part will close. There will still be access to the ferry terminal here, and there will still be access to the southern area, to East River Park, and to PA2 down here. So this will be the configuration for several weeks, and then closer to probably mid-November-ish. And again, we'll come back with some more detailed closing date. The contractor will need to move into the lower part of Stuyvesant Cove Park. And then that connection will need to close between Project Area 1 and Project Area 2. So then the revised Greenway detour will be kind of activated until that work over there is completed. And just to kind of zoom in again, so once the ferry terminal access closes here, there will be there will likely be ferry terminal access provided from the other direction. So I think we're still working on that with the contractor, but again, that ferry terminal access will be available throughout the construction. And again, we've talked about this, work happening at past CAG meetings as well, but now that it's coming closer, we did want to bring it up again. So for Project Area 2 construction photos, these are some of the photos of the Greenway north of 20th Street. That's the construction, and they're laying the granite blocks there. And then this is the nearly complete Greenway here. And they've also installed new lighting here under the FDR Drive as well. And then these are some of the photos from September of Sty Cove Park, or towards the end of September, of the seat walls and the regrading. And then it will be exciting once they start the planting next week, and we'll likely share some of those photos again, either at CB3, maybe we'll put in 1 or 2, or just again next month's CAG meeting. So for Project Area 1 construction progress, this is the bar chart that we showed at the last CAG meeting. We did include a link to the construction timeline that's on the website for easy access, but nothing has changed since last month when we presented this. For the November 2022 construction activities, again, much of the construction is ongoing out in the field. The soil stabilization activities are still ongoing. The flood wall, which runs under the park. So this is the flood wall that will run under the fill that's in the raised East River Park. That installation will begin, later next month. So that's exciting because we'll have, more of the flood wall being installed there. Again, many of the other items here are ongoing work activities. The Montgomery Street to Cherry Street Greenway flood wall activities are still ongoing, and we have a couple of photos in the next couple of slides. The amphitheater asbestos abatement has been completed, so that's great news too. So work can continue in that area. A good update, the Con Ed work in the shared use path up at the northern section of the park is scheduled to be completed this year. It had been originally anticipated that that would go into the next year, and it looks like it will wrap up this year. We are still having conversations about what that looks like for what parts of the shared use path might be able to open. So I don't have exactly that information because that would be the first question that I would ask. So if we did, I did ask that as well, and we're still having conversations about, which parts will then reopen. So I will have an update on that either before the next CAG meeting or definitely at the next CAG meeting. The East 10th Street utility work will restart as well. We'll be issuing another advisory for that. And then next week on November 3rd, which I believe is the Thursday, the contractor will need to close down the East 6th pedestrian street bridge for one day or one shift rather, to finish up some work underneath the bridge or where currently the pedestrians are walking. So that is new information. We will be sending out an advisory later this evening after the meeting. And then tomorrow we will be on site posting signage for that closure with zip ties, not duct tape, to make sure that everything holds up through the weekend to, till next week. So again, it is just anticipated for one shift, and I don't want to say a full day because they don't work a full day, but so for one construction day, again, and that's on Thursday, November 3rd. And again, we'll post the signage tomorrow. And then yes, any other updates can be found in the weekly bulletins and advisories. Moving into 2023, again, much of the work that we just went over will be continuing. The Delancey Street work is scheduled to pick up to start rebuilding that bridge, as well as work for the Corliers Hook Bridge. And then again, the flood wall activities will still continue. And then hoping to again begin the flood wall construction near Montgomery Street and South Street in that intersection, also going into next year. As we mentioned about the kind of shared use work, we're looking at what that looks like, what that reopening looks like with the contractor. So again, much of the work will, for the beginning of next year, will remain to what is happening at the end of next year. Just again, to go over the work sequencing. So the flood wall that we were speaking to, and this flood wall that's underneath here, it's not always in the same spot, but the combi wall is the next kind of step here in the waterfront and Esplanade construction here. So that is, kind of the next step in what is happening, true to the, illustration that we've been providing. And then the flood wall and pile installation. And then next will be the concrete foundation. And then eventually you'll see the wall, which if you look on site, you'll see the mock-ups of the wall that they're doing kind of in the middle of the site, which I think we talked about last time. So just a few construction photos. These are the sheet pile installations for the flood wall along the greenway with the pile rig, and this is a vibratory rig. So this is just some of the photos there. Again, it's pretty close to the road, so if you drive over here or again live across the street, you have a good view of it. But we wanted to provide some photos for those who are not. And then this is some of the H pile installation for the deep sewer work. This right here is the H pile that's getting lifted up, and then it will be driven down into the ground where the deep sewer work is, again, to form that frame for the sewer to sit on. And then just going into the environmental updates. So we tried to, taking comments back from last month, we tried to be a little bit more specific with the locations of some of the exceedances. The PM daily value did not surpass the PEL for the month of September for PA1 or for PA2. Many of the alerts that we received were, again, about 15 minutes, all around the 15-minute mark or less. And again, it was due to construction activities, and then dust suppression techniques were applied. Some of the work down by Montgomery Street, so this is Montgomery Street to Jackson Street, some of that were related to the Pier 42 work that was going on there. There have been complaints about many trucks kind of in that area. Those were not, those are not ESCR trucks, and so much of that was again, the one or two exceedances there were in relation to the Pier 42 trucks that were in that area. And then many of the other ones were, again, just due to typical construction activities. And then, additional dust suppression techniques were applied. So I hope that helps a little bit more. And we also included the map here again. Again, this is, where the 14 monitors are. And then you can kind of see where within those zones, there was about one or two, again, exceedances in kind of each zone there. So it wasn't concentrated in any one particular area, which I think was the question that was kind of asked last time. So we tried to speak to that in the slides a little differently than last time. For the AQM for PA2, again, very small exceedances, 6 to 15 minutes. One or two of them were overnight or an overnight source, and then others were due to construction activities, and then the dust suppression techniques were applied. And again, for PA2, the PM daily value did not surpass the PEL for the month of September. And we didn't take questions in the middle because that's it. That's the last slide, and we could take questions now. It was a relatively short presentation with not a lot of new information. So we didn't break it up halfway through like we do sometimes. So I hope that's okay. And then we could take any questions if there are any.
Sandra?
Hello. We had our land use and waterfront meeting last evening, and one of the questions was whether there would be any breaks in the handrail as part of the ESCR project close to the new Solar 2 building so that people could access the waterfront. Do you know if there will be gates in the
Yes, that question has come up before, and I don't believe there's gates that are in the handrail to access the waterfront. It was explored during design, and originally with the Solar 2 building, they were also trying to plan to have, I think, kayak access or something like that. But it was deemed by the city that with the ferry there and the plains land over there, and that water area just isn't kind of a safe area for kayaking. We could try and get a more formal statement on that if you need, but that was also brought up at the Stuyvesant Cove Park Association meeting the other, I think it was last week that we were at as well. And there are not gates as part of the ESCR project. And then, if it changes as part of the Solar One project, that might be something different.
Well, it was probably the same gentleman that asked the question at our meeting. But as they pointed out, it's not necessarily just kayaking. It's just being able to have access to the water because it's quite shallow in that area. And apparently ferries can't actually get into that space. And hopefully we won't have planes landing constantly in the future. So is there some way that we can address that and potentially have it incorporated into the project?
We could bring that back to, I think we have DDC folks on, we could bring that back as a comment. I don't believe it would be changed at this point because since it was reviewed, especially from a safety perspective, but we could definitely bring that back.
And I guess the other question I had was you had a photograph looking down the greenway. Would you be able to put that one back up again?
Oh, sure. Mhm.
In the PA2 area?
Yep.
So there are barriers on both sides of the greenway, or is that temporary, the sort of Jersey barriers on the left side of the photograph?
No, it's on both sides because this is it's parking here. So there needs to be a barrier so that it's safe for the greenway, that cars can't access the greenway.
And I guess, we're actively advocating for removing the parking in that area. So it would be great if it wasn't installed, but I guess that's too late for that. It's installed the full way.
It's installed the full way. These are, Jersey barriers are typically, there's not necessarily a foundation for a Jersey barrier. Like as you could see here, there's kind of these little openings because you can move them. I'm assuming that that's the construction of these as well. The wall has a deep foundation and it's connected. We can't move the wall, but I think these are, potentially not as permanent per se as the wall. But I don't think they're within this project contract, and the other, under the FDR is still, or will still be a parking lot. So at this point, they would need to stay there.
And how far is it from an access, like between, if you have to get off the greenway, you have to climb over the barrier, or how often can you get off?
So it's the same as it was previously. The access to the greenway is at 20th and 23rd. Let me see, where's that a better? Right, so the greenway is here. The exits are still at 20th, 18th, 23rd. Any entrance to the park for a pedestrian is the same for the access to the greenway. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have to advocate with someone else to get that removed, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wendy?
Oh, hi there. I'm getting questions related to Pier 42, which I understand has now been transferred to Parks. And the questions are about the turf and the little pellets that are quite visible in the turf. I sent a question to the online inquiry tool a couple of weeks ago and haven't received a reply yet. Can you fill me in on that?
Sure. So Wendy, Pier 42 isn't under ESCR. So you would need to contact the CCL for Pier 42, which is Rick Fogarty. I believe we've provided his information in the past, and we could certainly, Joyce, if you're on, can you pop Rick's information in the chat, or and then he would be the person that you would reach out to for any Pier 42 questions. I don't believe I saw the inquiry come in, but I could certainly check again because I believe that we are caught up on most of our inquiries, especially if it was a couple of weeks ago, but I will certainly double check on that.
Okay, I just get confused because I see that's reach A and B down there. And so that's part of the reason I was asking.
Yeah, Pier 42 is a separate project.
Thank you.
Are there other questions from the CAG? Oh yeah, Joyce put Rick Fogarty's information into the chat. Thank you, Joyce.
Great. Thanks so much, Joyce.
No other questions? Wow, okay. Well, thank you, Desiree.
Thank you.
So let's adjourn for a minute. I myself have to run to the bathroom, but and then we can start the CAG only conversation at 4:38.
Okay, everyone. So we'll just resume with the CAG only portion. We had it was a brief presentation, very few questions. As far as this portion of the meeting, we wanted to, again, just open the floor to see if there was anything of concern. I would imagine if there was, you would have brought it up while DDC was in the room. But wanted to see if there was anything that just didn't get addressed in this particular presentation that you all have concerns about. Looks like the hiring is coming next month. Paula and I are going to be revisiting the document that we all drafted in the summertime. with that included all of the points of agreement, just to do another refresh with DDC over the course of this month. So if there's anything outstanding there, we can recirculate that document for you all to take a look at to see if there's any missing pieces or additional questions that you all may have. Yeah, is there anything that anyone would like to bring up?
It's Robin, sorry. I have a question about the parallel conveyance again, because I know that there's work being done in city streets around the river, city streets which are affecting my building complexes, and we're having to pay for things, and I still don't understand that whole process. So,
Okay.
of why.
In terms of just like what, I mean, I know that they've issued the notice to proceed, but the work hasn't started yet. So what specifically do you have questions about?
Why the onus is on the residents to pay for construction. So we're being told. I still don't understand the question, why that is. In other words, when they're digging up, the digging up of things, we're told we have to, it's because it falls on some of our property, I guess, that we have to pay for that. So that's the thing that I'm not understanding. I would love an answer to. And also really a more clear idea of when that's beginning and when the waters will be turned off. We've had a lot of things happening lately. I don't know if it's in preparation for it or not, but.
Okay.
So that'd be great to get more info on that.
Definitely.
Thanks, Tara.
No problem. Anything else?
Hey, Tara, this is Diane.
Hi.
I think that it would be great if next month, I see that we're on the calendar for the week before Thanksgiving, I think. If they could start to give us some idea of what the timeline for next year looks like. They've got that chart with those, sort of stages of things happening. But they had predicted that areas of the southern areas of East River Park would begin to open as early as next summer, and that chunks of the northern end of the park would begin to close next fall. But they're still doing the sewer work, and they're just beginning to install the flood walls. So it seems like a stretch to think that by this time next year, we're going to have 8 feet of dirt piled up, settled down, and a new park built on top of it, even if it's part of what's down there. So I think it would be helpful if they could kind of look ahead into next year and let us know, do they still think that that's what's going to happen? Or, is it moving a little bit more slowly than they expected? Or, what can we expect? Not just for the first quarter of next year, but sort of what does next year look like?
Absolutely. And then also, I'm just noting it that we're meeting the week before Thanksgiving, which is also the week right after CB3. And unless otherwise, I believe they're also presenting, CAG is going to be an item again on CB3 parks next month. Trevor can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just wanted to note that we usually have a little bit of a longer window that might allow for questions. So, just something to keep in mind. I would highly encourage you all to go to the CB3 Parks meeting, especially since, it's likely that they might just come back and give the same information. We're going to try to avoid that if possible for the CAG meeting and have fresh information, but they will be giving an update at CB3 Parks the week before. But thank you for Diane. We'll ask them to prepare, basically like a timeline or an outlook for 2023 as it relates to existing work and what they're currently projecting. Anyone else?
I don't see any other hands raised. Wow, is this going to be a record for our shortest meeting yet?
It might be.
We can keep talking for the sake of talking if you'd really like to.
Yeah, I am not suggesting that.
Current events, things of that sort.
Well, I mean, you know, there's never a lack of people who want to bitch and moan and complain about this project. So
Yeah.
I will say, when I'm driving in my car and I'm heading north, it's just my stomach drops every time I pass the construction. It's just really hard to believe that they leveled everything. It still is. I just have to say, it's hard to imagine what it might look like.
So if there isn't anything else, we will give you all an hour and 15 minutes of your time back. Of course, we'll be emailing you some things as follow-up. Since we have some of you all here who haven't been in a while, we really appreciate that you were able to attend. We hope that you're able to attend next month. But if you haven't yet already voted on the bylaws, if you could please go into the document. Paula, I'm sure can just drop it in real quick because we are I think we're like one vote away from.
I know you're talking to me. I know you're talking to me, Kara.
Actually, it's not just you, but yes, you.
You're one of them.
Would that be me as well?
No, Doris, you're good.
Doris,
I know
you're good, yeah.
Doris, you're good.
Okay.
Thank you. But see, I wasn't trying to out anyone.
Doris is not, it's the other D.
That was
man.
funny. Somewhat.
Sort of down the low. I was. No, not to call anyone out in particular. But again, if there is anything that comes up over the course of the month, of course, we'll be reaching out to you all. We will give you your time back. We know it's very precious and we really appreciate you all came out.
have a wonderful Halloween, everybody.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.